room was in slight disarray, and Ning Tian's mind was in turmoil. He sat on the edge of the bed, dazed, replaying everything that had just happened. Had he misunderstood? Yes, he must have misunderstood. A soft rustle from beside him broke his thoughts. Luo Wuqing, her face as cold as moonlight, adjusted the delicate folds of her blue and white gown. Her phoenix crown shimmered as she placed it back atop her head with elegance, as if nothing out of the ordinary had transpired between them. Her expression remained calm, distant, as though the intimacy they had just shared had left no mark on her heart. "Don't forget," she said, her tone frostbound. "Be at the Demon Palace by evening. The wedding ceremony will proceed as planned." With that, she turned to leave, her figure graceful and dignified. Ning Tian could only watch helplessly as she disappeared through the door, leaving behind nothing but the faint fragrance of her presence and his own jumbled thoughts. He glanced back at the bed and noticed the small red stain on the sheets. His heart skipped a beat. An accident had caused him to cross a line he never intended to. He had unwittingly taken her innocence. He let out a bitter laugh, dragging a hand down his face. "Did I just pick up a wife for nothing?" Just then, the system's voice echoed in his mind. "Congratulations, host. A remarkable feat has been achieved. You are awarded 10 years' worth of cultivation experience." Ning Tian's body surged with energy, the spiritual power coursing through him in waves, breaking through barriers he had never thought possible. "Congratulations. You have ascended to the 1st-level warrior, 2nd-level warrior, 3rd-level warrior, 9-star warrior." The energy overflowed, and his strength surged further. "Congratulations. You've become a 1-star Xuanwu master." The spiritual torrent gradually settled within him, leaving Ning Tian breathless. In the span of moments, he had climbed through realms that took others a lifetime. A new wave of realization struck him. A startling gap lay between him and his soon-to-be wife. Luo Wuqing wasn't just strong, she was in the Divine Emperor realm, a force almost beyond comprehension. "My God," Ning Tian whispered, rubbing the back of his neck. The enormity of what had just happened sank in, but instead of feeling overwhelmed, a spark of determination ignited within him. "I have to start taking my cultivation seriously." His eyes lit up with newfound resolve. "I, Ning Tian, am not the type of man who lives off a woman." Clenching his fists, he vowed silently. One day, he would stand as her equal. How could he look her in the eyes and declare, "Under heaven and earth, the husband is greatest," if he was weaker than her? He sat cross-legged, channeling the spiritual energy into his core. Energy flowed in and out of him, vast and infinite, as if the universe itself was fueling his growth. Outside the room, Luo Wuqing paused, casting a glance back at the door, her expression unreadable. Her heart was a storm of emotions, though her face remained icy. Just moments earlier, she had almost obliterated the young man inside, instinctively wanting to erase what had happened. But for the sake of the greater good, her sect, her future, she held herself back. The image of Ning Tian calmly sitting in meditation filled her mind. Despite the frustration stirring inside her, there was also a strange, flickering warmth, a warmth she couldn't quite extinguish. With a soft sigh, she turned and continued toward the forbidden area deep within the demon sect's back mountain. As she passed through the sect grounds, disciples lowered their heads in reverence, bowing deeply. Whispers began to ripple through the crowd as soon as she disappeared from sight. "Can you believe the Empress is marrying a nobody? Ning Tian. Isn't he just a low-level servant who's been stuck at the 1st level for 3 years? Yeah. Aside from being good-looking, he's useless. Why would someone like her want him?" Jealousy and curiosity mixed among the disciples. Many envied him, marrying the Empress, a legendary beauty and powerhouse. But none could understand why she would choose someone like Ning Tian. Deep within the back mountain, Luo Wuqing arrived before an ancient stone gate. She waved her hand, and the gate opened with a groaning rumble, revealing a chamber lit by eerie green ghost fires. At the far end stood a massive statue, its expression shrouded in shadow. Luo Wuqing approached it, her gaze cold yet determined. "I've married someone with the divine body constitution. That should meet the requirement to access the demon code, shouldn't it?" The statue shimmered briefly with a pulse of black light, but nothing else happened. Luo Wuqing frowned. The demon code, a scripture said to unlock the path to godhood, was the only hope for her to break into the divine realm. Yet the sect's strange tradition demanded that the sect master marry someone with a divine body to unlock its power. After years of searching, she had finally found Ning Tian, a nobody who, against all odds, possessed this rare constitution. Yet he was so weak it was laughable. Her fists clenched at the memory of the looming threat. When the 5 emperors, 3 esteems, and 2 sovereigns invade in half a year. If I can't reach the divine realm, how can I protect the sect? Her voice softened into a murmur. If this so-called divine body can't unlock the demon code, I'll have no choice but to kill him. As dusk descended, only half an hour remained until the wedding ceremony. The demon sect was buzzing with excitement, and distinguished guests from across realms, powerful figures from the Eastern Prosperity Kingdom and Heavenly Spirit Realm, gathered to witness the event. Most were not there to celebrate, but rather to satisfy their curiosity. What kind of man had captured the heart of the cold and untouchable Empress? In his room, Ning Tian exhaled slowly, his body brimming with power. The system chimed once more. Congratulations. You have reached the 6-star Xuanwu Master. Tenfold absorption and cultivation had allowed him to leap 5 minor realms in just a few hours. If anyone knew of his rapid progress, they would be speechless with envy. Ning Tian opened his attribute panel, his gaze locking on the unfamiliar words. Physique, divine body constitution. System, what exactly is a divine body constitution? Ning Tian asked aloud. The system responded with an awkward silence. Fine. Ning Tian chuckled helplessly. Guess I'll figure it out myself. He stood and changed into the formal robes prepared by Luo Wuqing. Admiring his reflection in the polished bronze mirror, he grinned. The shabby servant's clothes were gone, now he looked every bit the part of an honored groom. I suppose I shouldn't keep my wife waiting. He smiled to himself, feeling oddly excited. As Ning Tian made his way toward the grand hall, a thought crossed his mind. Though their marriage had started under strange circumstances, he couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning of something greater. Perhaps beneath her cold exterior, there was more to Luo Wuqing than met the eye, and if he could unlock that side of her, maybe, just maybe, love would bloom between them. With renewed determination, Ning Tian stepped forward into the night, toward his destiny, his cultivation, and perhaps even a future filled with unexpected love.
Sky Demon Hall. The grand hall was resplendent, draped in crimson silk and adorned with festive lanterns. Everywhere, murmurs of conversation flowed, but beneath the celebratory atmosphere, tension simmered. Powerful figures from across the Eastern Prosperity Kingdom and beyond gathered, their curiosity piqued and their hearts heavy with disbelief. At one end of the hall, a young man swirled the wine in his cup, though the bitterness in his heart far outweighed the sweetness of the drink. Lin Xiaoyao, the carefree prince, stared at the joyous decorations, his expression bleak, as if he had just lost something precious. Carefree prince, brooding at a wedding? How unlike you, a hearty voice boomed from nearby. Lin Xiaoyao turned to see the burly beast Fury sect master grinning as he approached, a large wine cup in hand. I suppose even I must attend when the Empress marries, Lin Xiaoyao muttered with a stiff smile. The sect master chuckled. The Empress marrying, and to that waste from Sky Demon sect of all people. What a pity. Lin Xiaoyao's hand tightened around his cup until the delicate porcelain cracked. His smile barely concealed the storm raging within. The Beast Fury sect master's eyes gleamed with mischief. A talentless disciple marrying the Empress. Can you believe it? If I were you, Prince, I wouldn't let it slide so easily. Lin Xiaoyao's lips curled into a pained smile. What choice do I have? The Empress has decided. Yet, as he said those words, a flicker of hope stirred within him, ignited by the other man's provocative words. Was there still a way to stop this madness? The hall grew increasingly packed with guests, sect masters, princes, divine sons, saintesses. Each arrival brought more disbelief and envy. The idea that the revered Empress Luo Wuqing was marrying a man of no status was unthinkable. And now, the moment they had all been waiting for arrived. A red-robed officiant stepped forward, clearing his throat. Ladies and gentlemen, the Empress's wedding ceremony is about to begin. Please welcome, Empress Luo Wuqing. At the announcement, the air in the hall shifted. A wave of overwhelming pressure crashed down, immobilizing even the most powerful figures in attendance. It was the unmistakable aura of a divine emperor. The great hall doors creaked open, and Luo Wuqing appeared, dressed in a flowing red wedding gown, her presence radiant and terrifying. She moved with measured grace, her gaze cold and indifferent, as if she were a celestial being walking among mortals. Awe and fear rippled through the crowd. She's more beautiful than I imagined, one guest whispered. But why him? Another murmured. How could she choose a nobody? Lin Xiaoyao's heart twisted with bitterness, but as she passed by him, her serene expression broke something inside him. This isn't right. It can't be right. When she reached the front of the hall, the officiant cleared his throat again. And now, let us welcome the groom, Ning Tian. The hall fell silent, waiting for this mysterious man to appear. Seconds ticked by. Then minutes. Whispers stirred. Is he really going to stand her up? Lin Xiaoyao's lips twitched, hope flickering. Perhaps he fled. Perhaps the wedding can still be stopped. But just as the tension reached its peak, hurried footsteps echoed from outside. The crowd turned as a handsome young man stumbled into the hall, panting slightly. He straightened his clothes awkwardly and grinned at the audience. First time getting married. Sorry for being late, Ning Tian said casually, scratching the back of his head. The entire hall was thrown into stunned silence. Is he mad? Someone whispered. He dared to be late for her wedding? Lin Xiaoyao's eyes blazed with fury. You worthless nobody. How dare you show such disrespect to the Empress? Ning Tian glanced lazily at Lin Xiaoyao and shrugged. Relax. What matters is that I showed up in time for the wedding night, right? The guests collectively gasped, their disbelief now turning into outright shock. The wedding night? Does he not fear death? Lin Xiaoyao's face turned an ugly shade of red, his fists trembling with rage. You arrogant fool. I challenge you to a duel right here, right now. The hall fell silent once more. Everyone's gaze turned to Luo Wuqing, waiting for her response. Would she allow such a reckless challenge? Ning Tian, however, merely grinned and turned toward Luo Wuqing. Wife, you don't mind if I skip the duel, right? The crowd collectively held their breath. Luo Wuqing's expression remained as cool as ever. She gave a slight, indifferent nod. The room erupted into chaos. Lin Xiaoyao's fists clenched even tighter, the veins in his neck bulging. The man he despised had just casually dismissed him, and worse, the Empress allowed it. You're dead, Lin Xiaoyao roared. Ning Tian, however, barely spared him another glance. Save your energy. I've already won something far more important. He gave Luo Wuqing a wink and added, right, my love. Though Luo Wuqing's face remained impassive, a flicker of something unreadable crossed her eyes. Meanwhile, a system notification echoed in Ning Tian's mind. Ding! You have shocked the carefree prince. You have shocked the Beast Fury sect master. You have shocked the saintess of Heavenly Pond. You have shocked the divine son of the Holy Land of Light. You have shocked the emperor of the Great Xia Kingdom. Congratulations! You have unlocked the Earth-level martial skill, Sky Demon Palm. Mastery achieved. Ning Tian smirked as the system's messages poured in. His eyes gleamed with excitement. Lin Xiaoyao, trembling with rage, stepped forward again. I'll make you regret this. I swear. But before he could finish, Ning Tian cut him off. Honestly, you're annoying. This is my wedding, not yours. So how about you sit down, shut up, and let me enjoy it. The hall fell into stunned silence once more. Luo Wuqing turned her gaze to the crowd. Is anyone else dissatisfied? No one dared meet her eyes. Satisfied, she turned back to Ning Tian. Let's begin. And just like that, the ceremony continued, leaving the stunned audience grappling with one truth, whether they liked it or not. Ning Tian was now the Empress's husband. Lin Xiaoyao stood frozen in place, his heart filled with resentment, yet helpless against the force of fate that had already taken its course. Ning Tian, meanwhile, smiled. This marriage was shaping up to be more interesting than he had imagined.